Traditional American Hunter. I'm just gonna go over kind of my warm-up for deer season. I got a hay bale, a round bale. You can get round bales from farmers for about $35 to $50. Pick them up yourself, and I like to use a round bale because it stops my wood arrows at about somewhere in there, you know, with my 55-pound, sorry, this is my 50-pound Bear Montana, and it stops my wood arrows somewhere about 10 inches in, 8-10 inches in. And so I'm going to show you how I do 5 yards, 10 yards, and then 20 yards. Let's get to it. Okay, so you can see here I got a trail marker. This is at 20 yards, and then there's 2 more at 10 and 5 yards, and then I have a tan piece of cardboard in the hay bale to represent a deer. You know, the color of a deer's body. The reason I like to have a tan piece of, you know, material for my target or my bullseye, so to speak, is what color is the body of most animals, most mammals that we go for. White-tailed deer is the most popular species hunted in America and the most plentiful big game species. So that's why my cardboard is tan, and I just really enjoy thinking that there's a tan target, a deer, right there in front of a bush, and that is my piece of cardboard and my hay bale. The deer is the cardboard, the hay bale is the bush, and that's what I'm aiming my arrows at. All right, so we're gonna keep it at just 3 arrows. When you're aiming at a small target, I find that you don't want to shoot more than, you know, 2-3 arrows max, because you can wind up breaking your wood arrows. Again, this is my 50-pound Bear Montana longbow, made in Gainesville, Florida, made in America. You know, you can get a cheaper bow, but bears last a lifetime. And ever since I've been doing Traditional American Hunter, I have shot bear bows. My last bow was a Cheyenne 50-pound recurve. And I love them. Love them so much. So I don't ever unstring this bow or string it without this stringer here. And you got my marker right here for 5 yards, and then there's 10 yards, and then there's 20. And I could use a 4th one at 15 if I wanted to, but we're gonna go ahead and start out at 5 yards. There's 5. So here is a good little group. Believe me, this isn't the first 10-yard group, but the first one I was on, like the 5-yard with all arrows on. So I'm pretty happy with that heart shot grouping. And I'm gonna pull this arrow out and you're gonna see that it's got about a 6-inch. Let's do this one. So it's probably about this, probably about 10, 12 inches that it sinks into the hay bale. I love round bales. Best $35 archery target you can get. Well, it is Memorial Day weekend, and they are shooting some fireworks like crazy. 10 yards, 5 yards. So that's a 2 group almost, a 1 bullseye, and 1 way low at 20 yards. Feels good to hit 20 yards. When they're not all 3 on the target, I just keep shooting. No way of busting an arrow if they're not all 3 there yet. So one thing I know is you really need a consistent shot. Every archer knows that. And how you get a consistent shot is a consistent anchor point, a patterned release, a follow through, and you could just go on and on and on with how many steps give you a consistent shot. That's for sure. What I like to do when I'm aiming, when I knock my arrow, is get my elbow first in line, then I get my fingers on the string, and I'm a 3 under guy at longer distances and a 1 over 2 under at shorter distances. And when I draw, I use both eyes. I try to camp my bow, and I'm basically a gap shooter. And when I hit my point on my cheek, I'm also a snap shooter. That's when I let go. Thanks for watching Traditional American Hunter. I'm Ryan, and if you have any questions about your form, your target practice, you know, you can ask me, you can email me, send me a message through YouTube, and there's a ton of videos out there. One of my favorite archers on YouTube, favorite archers and hunters, bow builders, is Clay Hayes. Another favorite of mine on YouTube is Ryan Gill, and Ryan Gill is Hunt Primitive, and Clay Hayes is just type Clay Hayes and you'll find him. And you know, I do my part, we all do our part, and we're all just sharing this wealth of knowledge and our own experiences with traditional archery. To me, it's the most rewarding practice of archery, and you know, it feels really good when I hit that cardboard. And when I get close, you know, in the end, you can miss a deer with a compound bow too. Here's an idea I came up with. I had a certain number of brads, and I measured them off about 3 centimeters. And, you know, I'll have my arrows here in this side of the laundry room, and my bow on a rack on the other side of the laundry room. And that way I can come in from work, just grab my bow, grab my arrows, put them in my back pocket, and go out the door and shoot that hay bale.